Hi everyone, this is for the Epic Barn Ladies and for doing our class where we're going to make this pillow top with some little dimensional kinds of things in it. Um, I just wanted to do this real quick to kind of better explain the things that you really need for it. So what I did when I did my stars here is I actually used just some yellow yarn. I do have some wool roving, but I know that some of you had said that wool is kind of bothers you, so you could use a yarn to do what we need to do here. I will bring my roving that I have. I do have some yellow and some gold, some white, so it kind of depends on what you want to use. So if you want to use yarn, you can use some yarn. Now the big thing is really talking about the beads that we're going to do. Some of the things you need to take into consideration is we need to use a little heavier thread. So I went into Joann's and bought, this is actually top stitch thread, but there's also this thread that's over in Hobby Lobby that's kind of, it's for making jewelry and stuff. So that could be used too. The thing you have to think about is being able to thread it through a needle. And I'm not talking about your needle on your machine, but onto an actual needle. So hopefully I can show this fairly well, but this is a pretty good size-eyed needle. It's not as big as something like a tapestry needle like this, but I don't want it this big because if you do, you're going to have problems trying to find a bead that's going to fit through. Now that one happened to work, but if I was trying to use smaller beads like this and I have thread on that, I have to really play with this. Let me find a hole here. Okay, so I'm going to try and feed this one through, but it's not going to make it. So it's something to take into consideration. It's just like these beads are fairly large and they work really well. But how big of beads do you want for your Christmas tree? So there's all kinds of beads out there. I thought these were going to be kind of fun. I haven't done anything with them yet. I probably will here. But these all have letters on them. So depending on how much of this you want, you could do Merry Christmas in there. You could do a couple of different things. These are some wooden beads I thought would be really cool with some homespun fabrics. So I have those. So there are some that are really, really, really tiny, but I thought they were going to be cool, but I cannot use them because the hole is way too small. So make sure you don't get too big of beads like those. Look through your stash, see if you have beads. I'll bring what I have. When I did this one, it took a lot of beads. I think I'm going to make some changes to this so that we don't have quite so many beads in there, but because it took everything I had of these particular beads. So it is something to take into consideration. So if you want to look and see what you can find. The other thing is I have these glass beads that I thought were going to be really cool, but they're too heavy. So that's the other thing you want to take into consideration is how heavy. As soon as I started adding these beads on, they were really, really heavy and really bogged everything down. So I didn't like that. So I have some string, I have this top stitch thread, I have this thread. So again, this needle's too big unless you're going to use really big beads here. But this thread, which is the top stitch thread or the jewelry thread, will work just fine, and make sure you have a needle that you can actually feed through. So I'm going to get the rest of the supply list out, but I wanted you to have this so you could start looking now. Thanks.